Bonjour everybody, and look at that. I'm not even live yet properly. And Akin, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube supporter. I appreciate you. Enjoy your emojis. Guys, there's no music today, so unfortunately you're gonna have to listen to me. It is not working, and that's why I'm on a little bit later. But no fret really, is it? I'll switch this camera around in a second while I just plug my iPad in. How's everybody doing? Oh, and Akin gifting 5 memberships as well. Damn, thank you so much. I appreciate you looking after the community. And there we are, everybody getting gifted in the chat. If you were gifted and you're here in the chat, be sure to thank Akin. God, we are off to a flyer already. Damn. Akin, thank you so much. Let's go full cam. There we go. Bonjour, everybody. Look at that, new members. Alright, let's catch up with the chat there because we got off to an absolute flyer. Right, very beginning. Funky, how you doing? Vanetta, how are you doing? Linear Jewel. Akin, Bart, how you doing, my friend? And then we have Bart, Jesse, Cece, Julie, and Critty all gifted a membership. If you don't already know by now, you'll have a little symbol beside your name now, which shows that you are a YouTube member. Be sure to comment on as many videos as you can because you'll see that little badge beside your name everywhere you go on my channel. Everywhere you go. Camera looks like it's moved, but we'll leave it. Julie's here as well. And PXU. And Milo's here as well. How's everybody doing? Did you enjoy my little vent earlier on today about the old tips, the pens? Hey, listen, before we move on, actually, I want to show you this. This is really cool. I saw this on Instagram, on Amazon. This is the Moco grip, right? This is kind of weird. It's such an extra accessory. It's such an extra thing. But you unscrew the top off there. You grab your Apple Pencil. And you slide it in. There's a particular way it's got to go in. You slide it in, and then you screw the top back on, and then you get a really fun clicky. So you click it, and then you use this part of the pen to release it back in. I don't think I've tightened it up properly, but it should be spring-loaded then. Just super extra. Not needed at all. Holy smokes. Akin gifted 50 memberships to the channel. Holy hell. Akin, that is absolutely nuts. 50 memberships. I'm not even sure that's going to be able to go out to that many people. God, let's all just give a yay in the chat for Akin. Jesus, holy smokes. If you're here, be sure to thank Akin. Dude, that is amazing. Thank you so much. The community is all going to have little J's beside their name. If they don't go out to everyone, you get refunded the difference. So it will. I can see obviously a fair few there already, but that, you know, hopefully will go out to everybody. But if it doesn't, it will go back to you. Damn, holy hell. We are 7 minutes in, 56 memberships in, all from Akin, one for themselves, and 55 to the rest of the community. Sheesh. I have just completely lost track of the chat, and rightly so. Right, let me catch him back up. Julie Milo chatting. It is bonkers. It's absolutely amazing. Troy's going to be fuming when he gets here for sure. The thing is, when Troy gets here, there'll be no one left to do memberships for. You guys are going to have to start super chatting or something. You can't. There's no one else left to give memberships to. But listen, if you get one, be sure to. I think there's people on like blue, which what Bella's got, I'm pretty confident is like yeah, it is. It's like the third month. I'm pretty sure some people are on blue and not actually like always been gifted a membership. They've never actually, purchased one themselves. They've always been gifted. It's nuts. It's crazy. Properly being looked after here in the community by some very generous, extremely generous followers and subscribers. I appreciate you, Akin. Thank you so much. It's raining in here today. Bella, I was just checking my email and I got one from YouTube telling me I just got gifted, gotten a gift. That was neat. Oh, that's sick. So I think how it works is, from what I remember and I've read, is if you've been in the chat a few times and like interacted, you go into then like a separate pool. So if you've got all of the subscribers, which is 26,000 now, which is nuts, but you've been in the chat, as long as you've been in the chat and interactive, you go into a separate pool there that if someone does gift, it's gifted to someone who's previously interacted. So it's, it's giving someone who's more likely to actually use it more of a chance. I don't obviously configure that, but yeah, that's pretty much how it works. So the more people can get in and just have a little sort of chat and stuff, the better. What's up, Wendy? How are you? You having a good day? And not staying for long. It's almost time to go to bed. Not for me. Not for me. For Wendy. For Wendy. Yeah, it's awesome, Bella, isn't it? It's awesome that you can, like, the community can give back to the community, if that makes sense. Like, yes, Akin is supporting the channel, but it's also, being able to give not only to me, but to give to everybody else as well. It's awesome. It's awesome. Anyway, we were saying about sort of this Moco grip here, and then you get this like click down and then click back up and it shoots the end off. But it's very extra. You can still access sort of the double tap on the side if required. But I didn't like it at first, but I'm starting to really warm towards it because it's like, I don't know, it's got quite a big grip to it and a nice weight to it. It's yeah, it's nice to use. I'm recreating, and let me just put this around a sec. I'm recreating a different view, a design I'd done previously today. I've realized how much people love the neon images, and I've not done one for ages, but I drew one ages ago and I wanted to revisit it and do it as a quick mock-up so I can put it together as a quick tutorial. It's pretty, a lot of the time the neon stuff doesn't really change too much. So, the rules don't change. We can do cool little quirky bits here and there, but the principle pretty much stays the same. And this was one I drew ages ago. This was like when I started doing sort of like TikToks like almost daily. And so this is the sort of game over design, which is really cool. But I'm pretty confident like we could do other stuff. We could like have like the PlayStation and Xbox sort of symbols off on the side and stuff, and make it, a little bit more than just this. So it could be really fun. And again, I always love doing the neon designs, as you guys already know. Akin says, I want Joel to be known by more people. He produces sincere and quality content. This amount is as much as my gum money. But I owe it to him. I don't know what you mean by that, but I really appreciate the support, and so does everybody else as well looking after the channel. But for sure, I can send you a link. It's not an affiliate link or anything, but I can find it you and send it if you want. It's just something interesting, something different. I like to try out quite a few different grips and stuff. Joel, do you have a guidebook, something like an article you created? No, but I just sort of introduced the blog to my website, and there's nothing on it as of yet. But with things like the podcast that I was featured on a couple of weeks ago, as well as just every time I sort of interact with companies, I want to create a blog, kind of like a press blog almost kind of thing. So I will make sure to I'm going to consider updating that more frequently. I need to go back basically and update things and add things that I've done in the past to get me up to speed and fill out the blog a little bit more, and then from there we can move on to filling it out as things happen in the future. No worries, but I'll leave you to find that. It's all good. Oh, Funky. I can't keep up with your Instagram. I can't. I'm like all over the place. I don't know what's a tutorial. I don't know what's happening. I'm just like, what is happening? Like, are they? I don't know if they're future designs. Are you just drawing for fun? I know I asked you this last week, but now I'm like, these images are going out like all the time, and I'm like, where is this content going? Like, yeah, you need to let it. I think if it is going to be future tutorials, you've got to whack that in the caption. You got to get people hyped up for it. Tell them where to go, because they can go and get subscribed while they wait for you to make the tutorials, or like, Patreon and get ready and stuff. Yeah, so anything that you do that you're drawing for yourself, or like sneak peeks basically. I know you do it normally, but you got to whack it in that caption. I need to know what the hell's going on, let alone somebody else. You know what I mean? Okay, did anybody here watch the very short video I just made on my YouTube channel for the Apple mistake with the tips of the Apple Pencil? If you haven't, please go and watch it for a second. Please drop a like on it. If you can comment as well, that'd be amazing. I really appreciate it if you could. It was obviously like, it's one of the first videos I've been able to do where I can share like a story, if that makes sense. So like a story of like it doesn't always have to be bad, it can always be good, of course. But like share an experience with you to help, which I hope will help a lot of people just like avoid doing that stuff. The one about buying non-generic knockoff pencil tips, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Literally, I was actually, before I get started on this, I was actually appalled and shocked at the damage that tip had done to it in 2 hours. I was absolutely shocked, and I compared it to the original Apple tip. Somebody asked me about that. I said, well, that's bound to happen with all the covers that you use. And I was like, no, I just need to reiterate, the original Apple Pen tip I had on there lasted a year. Oh, no, sorry, over 2 years, with like 5 or 6 fresh new covers that I've been using throughout that period. And then that one I only put on for 2 hours on a screen cover that's been on for like, had the majority of its initial layer of texture sort of worn down, and it lasted 2 hours. They were absolutely soft as, you know what I mean? They were awful. I was shocked, actually shocked, and I will never do it again. If mine can last me again another 2 years per tip, you get 4. I'm going to be on my way to 40 by the time I get through this pack. Mad. Don't make the same mistake I did. Bella says, my pencil came with an extra tip, and the original tip is still in great shape, so I'm not going to need any replacements for a while. So if you bought the original Apple Pencil, you got a spare tip with it. The Apple Pencil 2 doesn't come with one, which is annoying. I had a lot of people telling me like, no, there's one in the box. There isn't, I can tell you. And they're like, no, it's in the box. I'm like, yeah, I've checked the box. Ripped the box to pieces. It's not hidden anywhere. So, yes. Also, I cannot wait, moving on to another subject, I cannot wait for everybody to get hold of this Friday's YouTube tutorial. Like, I think it's gonna absolutely fly. That one looks a bit too edgy. Go for the standard brickwork one. Give a nice light coat to start with, and then we'll just fade out bits that we don't want. Yeah, I'm buzzing for everybody to get hold of the tutorial that's going out on Friday. Everybody should really like it. I think it's one that will appeal to my audience as well, which is good. And I always get excited for these, but then a lot of the time I get sort of disappointed with the outcome. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we're all good. Bella says, it sounds like poor materials and shoddy quality, but that's sadly to be expected from knockoffs. Exactly. And even when I put it on, it was just ever so slightly sort of thinner than the tip on the one you normally get. So I could tell straight away something wasn't quite right. But yeah, why has the music stopped playing? Hello? Why have you stopped working? I'll fire. Are we still here? Why has Spotify just decided to completely stop working? I mean, you guys can't hear it anyway, I can, but... Hold fire. We are having technical difficulties right now. While we wait for that to load on the side. Funky says she's got loads of catching up to do, and Julie says, I can hear that scratching, can tell it's new. Yeah, for sure. Nice and solid. Maya says, oh, the Patreon tutorial would be a nice experience to try it. What was I talking about? I've completely lost what my track. What's up, Elkan? How are you? I'm very good, thank you for asking. Come on. Hang on. What is going on? Oh, I guess I'll just gotta sit here in silence. Oh well, is what it is. We'll carry on as we are. We're all good. No music feels and sounds very strange. Let's turn this light down too. Elkan, if you would like a badge, you have to become a YouTube member. If you are a YouTube member for 1 month, your first month, you get a nice little navy badge beside your name. If you are a member for 2 months, you get a blue. And then you move to green, and then you move to bronze, silver, and gold. And I still need to make further ones beyond that. If you are a superstar supporter as well on Patreon, there is a new sticker coming soon. Because obviously, like if I look at that badge right now, if I change the graphic, it won't change your status in any way. But if I change the badges, which I'm going to the new logo, obviously they're currently outdated, and so is the merch, which I think is kind of cool, you know, because I was thinking about this the other day. I want to provide a new sticker and discontinue the old one, obviously, and it will be like a limited like a limited edition kind of one where that was the first set of the branding for Joel Create that has now changed, and so you'll have like a one of one sticker because hopefully the brand won't change at all after, you know, next year and the year on. So the that first initial J is gonna be for the superstar supporters is gonna be a yeah, very limited sort of stock really, and only a few people will have that. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Elkan, I definitely know you are a super. Wait, Elkan, are you a super or a superstar? I can't remember. Is it super? Are you using Joel Paperlike's new screen cover saver, or is it the Paperlike 1.0? This is the Paperlike 2.0 because they went 1.0, 2.0, and then 2.1 from what I know. But I'm currently still using. Where is it? I am currently still using the quality paper feel screen cover from Doodro. So that is the current one I am using. I like to, a lot of them tend to come with 2 at a time. So it's quite nice that when they send them out, if I use it, I can swap it back out for another one and then, you know, swap it back in as well. It's very good. It's very different though. Like if I rub my finger on it, it can definitely pick up like a lot of grime off your finger. But it's quite nice as a texture to draw on. But they also sell this as well, which is like their Doodro cleaning kit. And so you spray it on and then just wipe it down with this material on the side. And really, I believe that 2 should go hand in hand, like sold together, because the way that the screen protector is designed, it takes up a lot of, you know, your natural use of it and stuff. So but they're good accessories for sure. It's just a whole different sort of system. What's kind of hard sometimes is like I have to try and review these products, and like when you break it down, they're just some matte feeling screen covers. So to break it down and actually try and find some differences in them is really kind of tricky sometimes. You know, and it's not the most exciting topic in the world. You know, if you're reviewing phones or cameras and stuff, there's a lot to go off of. But when you're reviewing, you know, a screen cover, sometimes it can be a little bit, yeah, a little bit sort of not dull, maybe a little bit dull. All right, cool. Let's roll with this background for a second. Lower the opacity down, and we're gonna get drawing some nice monoline content, and roll from there. What's up, Mittens? How you doing? Bart says try the Bellemond screen covers. They're really good and long lasting. Oh, cool. Never heard of that brand before, but I can definitely reach out to them. I do have affiliate links. They're in the description down below. If you check the video, literally right underneath this one, and click on the in there. There's affiliate links in there for majority of stuff that I use. And if there isn't, Milo, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to sort one out for you, which is one of my moderators. Okay, let's get started then. So I'm gonna get cracking on that bottom section first, and we'll work it out from there. And these days, I think I could like whiz through this relatively quickly. It's like the neon stuff. They've not really changed that much, obviously. Little bits and bobs have changed with the style and what I like to do, but a lot of it otherwise is fairly straightforward. Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of the screen covers. They can last you a long time. Like, don't get me wrong, like mine have lasted me a long time, but when they're sent out for me to take a look at, which is awesome, obviously it's nuts. But yeah, they get rotated pretty quickly, which I guess is a bad thing for me because that probably aided in the wear of my Apple Pencil tip, because of course it's constantly on like a fresh screen cover. Like my very first paperlike, that was on for a good 9 months before I switched out for something else. So like, by that time it had lost a lot of its initial texture, and it got like relatively sort of smooth in comparison to what it may have started out like. God, that's actually a nut start, to the stream. Back in there with the 56 memberships. That's crazy. I don't think we've had a start like that before. Doodro.com for the screen cover and the products. Absolutely. That's looking a bit too tall for me. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to grab one of them and move that down. Maybe a little bit higher than that. like leaving gaps as well in the neons these days, like where the bars are not yet touching. Do you want that actually? Arguably, but no, we can add in that bar. Also, because I drew this a long time ago, I can make some refinements if I feel necessary to the shape. Overall, not that bad though. Not bad at all. How are we all doing anyway? What's everybody up to at the minute? What are you drawing? Let me know what you're drawing, if you're drawing anything of mine or anybody else's. Let me know what tutorials you've been enjoying. I think a lot of people don't think that they can share their drawings from other creators in my Discord server, but I absolutely love seeing them. I love seeing what people are getting up to, no matter what the tutor was. I don't particularly like to roll like that. If it's somebody else's, it doesn't really matter. I appreciate it for what it is. You can share what you like. What's up, Kevin? How you doing? What's up, Mohit? What's up, Jesse? How are you doing? Julie says, I've got a puppy this week and I need help naming him. I think we can all agree. I think if we were to put a poll out right now that it should be called Joel, right? I think we could get that done. I think there could be a petition that we could get that done, right? Surely. What are we saying? Angus. Oh, it's a puppy. It's a cute puppy. Don't do that to it. If you called it Joel, that'd be crazy. Are we naughty Scottish puppy? Can you let me know as well if this starts to lag out at all, because I'm seeing, oh, it says excellent connection. God, Marie, let me be. Let me be without that. There we go, little poll out. Thank you, Mohit. I appreciate that, my friend. Oh, we're at 83%. 83% eyes. Let's go. The puppy's being called Joe. Let's go. Oh, what? 62? Guys, what's going on? Ended the poll at a staggering 67%. There we go. It's in writing. Okay, I need to get off this screen because my stream is suffering as a result. Right, let's go. Okay, so originally we had some nice hoops down here as well, which I think I'll just create a separate layer for. Let's just move that a little bit closer so we can keep them a little bit tidier to each other. There we go. And in the middle, I had another one. Where did I put that before? Almost in the middle. Perfect. Merge them together. Move that out to the side. Yeah, that's a good call, actually. We probably need to see a picture of the puppy before we can give it a name. It's got to go in Discord, hasn't it? Toast. Oh my god. You've got to remember, with a cat, it's different. When you got to shout toast across a field because the dog's run off or you need it to heal, you know, you need to think about this. You know, you're going to look, I mean, it may fit the profile, but you're going to look a bit nuts. Do you know what I mean? A little bit crazy just screaming toast across a field or, you know, on a walk. But listen, if you think you can pull off screaming toast on a walk, then, you know, fair play. You're Scottish at the end of the day. You can, you know, there's a little bit of loopy in there somewhere. God, you guys are never picking the names for my dogs. We got Cookie, we got Toast. Nacho as well, damn. Fair enough. Well, I'm not going to argue it at this point. It's going to leave you be. And let's bring in the text. I can't remember what font I even used back in the day for this one, so we're going to have to see. Although with the outline feature, we could pretty much pick anything we want, which is cool. What's up, Jay? How are you doing? But read his full name. El Nacho Nugget Bug. That is something. For one, I mean, giving your dog a last name is a bit nuts. You can maybe call ours by their last name if they have one, but I mean, he's got middle names. Oh God, you got to be winding me up now. Had a hamster called Google. Julie, I'm gonna have to have a look at the puppy when I can after stream, of course. Oh, excuse me. Okay, this font is sick. Okay, we can pop that in the center for a second. You can get over in as well. So over's about 300. That's fine. Making mental notes now. And the game as well needs to be smaller, fit within that frame. So mine's a little bit more spaced out than last time, but that is fine. And we'll get rid of these bits here too. So we'll create those nice separating gaps. Yeah, we're naming Julie's puppy. Although I've not seen it yet. I've got to wait till after stream. Kevin Hicks, you have to give him a name that fits his personality though. When we got our latest dog, his name at the shelter was Warrior and was totally not a good fit. That's actually really funny because when we had Charlie, his name when we picked him up was Titus. And I was not a fan of that. And Titus would not suit him now. So yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm going to add in some additional lines in here because I feel like it's got a bit too much empty space, and based off the pattern I did at the top, we can maybe get away with adding in some more in this area as well. That looks fun, a little bit more detailed. And then what I'm thinking is I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to make it drawing assisted for a minute. And I'm just going to draw like symbols on the side, kind of similar to like PlayStation. So like maybe an X, although maybe I should not do it like that, although that would be symmetrical. I could do a pattern and then duplicate it. I'm thinking of like creating a bunch of different shapes and then just like leaving them be on the side. So I'm going to turn off the drawing assist because I want to draw them as like shapes, and then so like PlayStation. I know it's not very arcadey, but it's still kind of close to close to gaming, isn't it? A little square, an X, and it's something like that. We could then put a few smaller ones in here. It's like an X there. We could do a smaller triangle here. We could do a smaller circle down here. Yeah, a bit smaller. What have we not done? A square. And then we could do a square off to the side here. So it's like two of each symbol. That is cool. And then we could just duplicate that and flip it. Yeah, that's cool. And maybe we merge them together and smack it in the center. Lovely jubbly. That looks really cool. Wait, also be careful of who has to say the name. When I got my last dog, her name was okay. Jesus Christ. What would some... Oh no. What if we made that drawing assisted now and maybe like a few X's in here just very quickly, and triangles and stuff? Would that look too busy in there? Or do we leave that open? I think we leave that open like that. So this is where I think the neon stuff gets a little bit better these days, is if I now merge all those together, like just alpha locking the layer and then just picking the colors you want to use. So like drop in, so just alpha locking the layer, making your monoline brush nice and big, and then going in and selecting what you want to be a certain color. And this is the fun part, because that obviously determines a lot of your final design. So I'm going to make the circles pink. I'm going to go pink, turquoise and white, you know, just like I've done above, because they always look the best. They're always the best colors. We could maybe make the X's blue. Yep, that's fun. Call him Whiskey, so that if he gets lost, you're always calling his name. Someone might at least give you a drink. It's a good strategy. I keep forgetting I've got this reference photo up, and I keep looking at the screen on the side to be like, where is the work I'm supposed to be doing? There's so many little jokes coming in here. When I was a kid, my mother named her dog after my dad's ex-wife. I don't recommend this. Oh, God. We had a pet called Rascal, and my kids kept calling it A-hole. Bloody hell. I'm just like imagining that, like out and about and that happening. Just be like, no, he's calling the dog. Sorry. Game over. Oh, I've just realised I'm doing this, which is why that got rejected, and there's no glove. And let's use the Pen.Tips one. Oh, is that not? Oh, okay. Let's merge them together. Now, I think with a design like this, you have to always balance the colors. There needs to be a good balance of them throughout the design. So you need to make sure that like you've not gone too heavy with the color compared to say the white parts, because I'm going to keep some neutral white areas. So it's good to just take a look in a sec, because I'm starting to think there might be a bit too much blue, but then the frame does look quite nice like that. Like whether or not you would do, see, that's probably too much actually. It doesn't really matter now to do the outside. What's up, Blue Bear? How are you doing? Look at you with your blue badge. Everything's very well. Thank you very much for asking. Jesse, got to see the pic so we can name it, but if it's a boy, I would name him Joel. See, thank you. We had a poll up earlier and 67% of people said that should be done, but Julie wants to name her own dog. It's a joke, really. Anyway. Oh, God. Hey, fancy with your blue badge. That turns to green next after that. Right, now let's mess around with all of those fun little bits to like bring it together. We'll go to black, fill the layer. I'm going to turn up the background so I can just see it for a sec. Turn off the alpha lock. We do our little drop shadow underneath to help it stand off. We will... Now I never try the bloom, so I might try the bloom and see if we can get that to work. Let's try that a second. I can never get bloom to work how I want it to. I can never even get it to work. Is that layer alpha locked? No. It never wants to work for me. Look, we go to bloom. Transition is high. Look, every slider here is doing nothing. What am I doing wrong? This is mental that I'm asking, but it's true. Like, what is going on? Nothing's working. No setting up and down here. Slide your... Oh. Anyway, this bloom tool, just gonna mess around with it for a bit. That is the most stupid I think I've ever felt using this stupid app. Ugh. Yeah. The blue is driving me a bit nuts because it doesn't want to play ball too much. So I'd like to actually genuinely like to read up though of how what the settings, how they actually work alongside each other. Like what's like a few different things you can mess around with. It's cool. I don't know. It doesn't give me, I don't know why, maybe it's because the bars are not white and it's like, so like normally if I bring in that reference photo again, so this is my old design by the way, the bars, they're white and the color is transitioning off from them. So that's probably why it looks a bit off to us a little bit. Oh, hang on, I just also realized something. Let's grab the selection tool because I didn't set any perspective on the game over, so that game over is completely flat, whereas you know the angle of the screen is a little bit pointed downwards and outwards, so I need to drag that out like this to create some perspective. There we go, that looks much better. Let's delete that, duplicate that, alpha lock that, fill. I do that all the time, Kevin. I'm blurring something that's alpha locked. Yeah, so I think maybe it's going to look great with a layer on top that's alpha locked, but set to white. And then see what the color does underneath it. So let's mess around with that. Let's go, I could probably get rid of this reference photo as well now. Let's go to bloom again. Let's just put everything in the middle for a second and slide from left to right on the colored layer. Yeah. Bloom, transitions. It's interesting to see, isn't it? Because like I'm seeing how like the pinks are not really being used that much, but the whites are like nuts. And that brings back in the colour, but it's not bringing in the pinks very much, and there is pink on that layer. It's interesting. Let's try it again actually, but let's go up to something a bit higher. Yeah, see, like I have to put it bloom to 100% to get the pinks in, and then mess around with it from there. So like transition can stay down there. That glow can go up to about 30. The burn, yeah, looks good. Brings in a lot of colour. Makes it nice and bright, which will look, you know, good on Instagram and stuff. Okay, let's take a screenshot of that, because that actually doesn't look too bad at all. And I like the fact that it's got the white on top. To me, that looks a lot nicer. We set the shadow just underneath here. We'll duplicate it, because we'll Gaussian blur the shadow to about 5%. And we'll bring the shadow in. So let's just uniform that down. Move it into the center. That creates a little bit of distance between the shadow layer and the graphic that sits on top of it, like the neon bars. So I've seen, so Jay just mentioned there that I'm still learning to use Bloom. Truthfully, I never use it. I've always, and you'll know this already if you do any of my past tutorials, but I like to always do the neon effect, not the neon effect, the neon effect all manually. I always like to do it manually. So you would have seen that beforehand, but yeah, every day is a school day. I'm never afraid to admit that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always great to try and use new tools in there, isn't it? There's so much we can do in this app. It's just nuts. It blows my mind all the time. We could leave it like that. I mean, I really like that. I think that looks sick. But there's like other things that I want to try and maybe put in here. So like maybe get like a grey colour, set it to drawing assist as well, and then try and put in like the supports, like where the bars are like attaching onto the concrete, so kind of like that, and follow the perspective, and that should help like a few points sort of really look like they've got some distance onto the back. Do you know what I mean? Like just close that. It's closing the gap but also creating a gap. It's closing the gap to the wall in the background, and all you got to do is just link each line to the corner of its shadow underneath based on what I just did, and we'll create like lots of little sort of supporting bars onto the wall in behind, which looks sick. I'll change the color maybe afterwards, but it maybe adds like a splash somehow of the actual color of the neon beside it. That is very true, Kevin. That is absolutely true. It will make neon easier for sure in terms of like doing a tutorial. You know, I can do that in like one swoop rather than drawing multiple layers to you know, create the effect. But like I said, I always like to do it manually anyway, but definitely if I'm going to do this as a tutorial, for example, it will be used. So I just want to get all of these supporting lines in and just see what that looks like. I'm quietly confident that I will keep them. Let's try, say, here and here. Yeah, they're cool. Let's try the V. It's the tiniest little ones on the top. The perspective of the shadows and stuff doesn't really work in this area here, so I think we'll get away with not having to add any in. I think we're good. Looks cool. Now I need to try and see if there's a little way of me adding some color to those lines without adding too much color to those lines. So like clipping masking some color to them. But maybe like lowering the opacity down. Yeah, that's cool. So can you see that in there? There you go. You can see how like the lines are going to support the bars onto like, so that's how they're like screwed onto the concrete. You could go a step further and like link up all the bars. So the thing with like neon is a lot of the time there's a sign behind me, which is why I looked, is there's the front facing bit of the neon you see, and then there's like a bit that you don't see that's not illuminated or is painted over, typically in black, where it links certain shapes together. So like there'll be another layer here, for example, and like this would be connected to like here and connected to maybe here, and somehow there would be like, you know, connections put in place. But for the sake of like a Procreate tutorial where we can do whatever the hell we want, I'm not sure it's really necessary, you know. Why did that just drop? Looks very cool. I'm very happy with it. It looks awesome. Has anyone updated to iOS 16? I did today. Every time I get an update like that, I absolutely cack myself, because if I lose everything, which is fine, I've got it all backed up anyway, but how did this triangle get here? Has that been there the whole time? Not that close, surely. Have I done something wrong through there? No, it actually has been there the whole time. Okay, cool. That's a mistake. Don't do that when we do it. Oh, it could have been when I skewed the perspective, maybe. Yeah. It's alright. Stage Manager is kind of cool. If you've got a 12.9-inch iPad, I think it's going to be pretty sick. For, you know, if you use it for like school and stuff, to have multiple apps open at the time. If you need a document open and then, you know, another app open to put like something else into, or apply the work. You know, I was thinking about my own work and stuff, and I work a lot of the time from a Word doc to then update a prototype. So, you know, they could go side by side. But my iPad's the 11-inch, which I feel is more of a like I feel like there's a huge difference between the 11-inch iPad and the 12.9. The 11-inch is very much like something that's, I don't know, I kind of refer to it as it's more personal, in a way of like, it's smaller, that you like watch YouTube on it, you do kind of smaller, easier tasks, even though it's a Pro. But then the 12.9 with the bigger screen, it's much more easier to use it as like an in-between computer, you know, because you've got that screen real estate. So if you've got a Stage Manager, like, it would be awesome. And obviously if you've got a Pro with an M1 or 2, you'll be able to you know, use an external monitor and do, you know, have more windows open. So it'd be even better for like that sort of idea. Oh, Milo, I'll buy a new iPad for Christmas for only drawing. Ooh, which one are you going to get? Kevin, I always wait a week or two just to make sure I'm not about to brick my devices. It's always a good idea. I kept up a lot with the 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 beta testing and stuff. So I was quietly confident. Jay says, I'm thinking about trading in my iPad for the newest model. Which one would you get, Jay? What would you treat yourself to? 11-inch fits perfectly on my lap. I'm afraid 12.9 inches is too big. Plus, it's more expensive. So, my future sister-in-law, she came around this week, and she has a 12.9 inch. And admittedly, though, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I mean, I could easily get rid of mine for the 12.9. That's annoying that I'd have to get a new one of these. So you see this bit, so this bit out here of the sketchboard is the plastic frame, but this bit is like this rubber material. And the cool thing is if I was to buy a new iPad of a different size, I'd just buy a new version of this rubber only and keep the same frame, and then just it swaps in and out, which is sick. But then I was like, do I need to? You know, I'm perfectly happy with mine. I use mine for like personal, you know, like I watch YouTube on it and stuff, like, you know, play games on it and stuff. Oh my god, hang on, I'll come back to the game topic in a second, but yeah, so like lots of things like that are kind of more like casual use. I don't have to take it to, you know, do any work anywhere with it. It's just drawing and like watching YouTube, and that's it. Mrs. Create watches Netflix on it and stuff when I'm not using it. She's livid that I have to use it for my live streams, but I'm like, well, what else do you want me to do? Draw on pen and paper? Do you know what happened? Okay, another thing. Procreate is ruining my life, and I realise it's ruining my life in real world scenarios. And like, it's not ruining my life, but it's maybe a bit too extreme. But I was at a friend's house, and a few of us got together, and we were carving pumpkins. So cut all the inside out. We're done, ready to go, and we grab our pens and we start drawing on our design. So typically over the years, like, we've done some cool stuff, and I'll try and put some photos in Discord later for the designs we've done in the past. So I'm drawing my design on to the pumpkin, and obviously the texture of the pumpkin's not smooth all the way around. So when you draw, you can get carried into like a groove of the pumpkin. So I draw my line, and it kind of like veers off. So I'm just drawing away, and the line veers off, and then I just tap with two fingers. I just tapped a pumpkin with two fingers, and then just went, whoa, what the hell is going on? And then I told everybody, I was like, I just feel like an idiot. I just tapped a pumpkin with two fingers trying to undo a line, and they're like, mate, you are too deep into this program. I'm like, I know. And then I carry on drawing again, and it happens again. And then I go, what the hell is going on? Like, it just didn't work. And I'm like, yeah, because this is real life. This is real life. There's no mistake. Can't make mistakes here, mate. This is it. And I've done it before, and I've drawn on like paper as well. And I'm like drawing away, and I like tap on something, or like I'll write my name, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look very good. And I just tap with two fingers. I'm like, what is going on? Why is this not working? It's so annoying. So Procreate's ruined my life. Oh my god, Julie says I double tapped my face to undo my eyebrow pencil, if that makes you feel any better. Oh, do you know what? That makes me feel good though, because that makes me feel like it's not just me. Oh god, that's a relief. That's a relief. I might clip that and put that on like TikTok or something, because I'm sure other people feel the same way. It is bad. Yeah, it's bad. What was the other one? Oh right, yeah. So majority of you draw on Procreate anyway, so you've got an iPad. There's a game on Apple Arcade called Mini Motorways. Downloaded this bad boy on Saturday. I couldn't sleep for 2 days. Like 2 nights sleep was utterly obliterated by the fact of playing this game and then going to bed, still playing that game in my mind, of like still in the mode and in the focus for it. It has been, I'm absolutely shattered, right? And all I can think about is when I go to bed is just like building roads and connecting houses to roads and building this infrastructure of this city, and it is driving me crazy. and it's a great game. And if anyone else is playing it, you know, but if you don't know, you need to know. It's a great game. Enjoy yourself. Mini Motorways on the Apple Arcade, on the App Store. Mad. Miley says, on a real photo, I was trying to enlarge it so I feel related. That is, yeah, we're all in a club, and we're broken. Yeah, so Jay, I do that as well. So when I finish a stream, I've taught myself, well, no, I've learned and taught myself to, when I finish a stream, I can't just go to bed. If I go to bed, I'll still be drawing. And I can't draw, you know, like I kind of like learn to set rules that, like, if my brain's too engaged before I go to bed, I want to go to sleep, and that's fine. But then when I get to sleep, well, when I'm lying there and I'm just tipping off, you never quite actually just fall asleep. You're like, you're like, your eyes are closed and you're, you know, trying to go, but your brain is still like focused on drawing, and like, it's cool because it's like shows that you just really are engaged in something. I think there's a good thing always a lot of the time to take from a lot of things, and like to know that you're like, your brain is really being worked and enjoying the process and focus of drawing is great. I think it's good because it's not just like a passive thing, you know, like watching TikTok or, you know, Instagram Reels or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but like those mindless action. And don't get me wrong, I spend my fair share on TikTok every day, but then just break that up with doing something as well. I think there is a space in your day and wherever you want, that if you don't want to do something and you just want mindless content, that's fine. You know, like we can all agree that that's, you know, a good thing to do sometimes, of just being like provided with content and just sit back and take it easy for a sec. But it's when you just need to remind yourself to then do something that will engage you. Otherwise, you just be like a zombie all the time. And just doing this all the time is mega. Like, this is the stuff that like keeps you focused and drawing. There is nothing greater to me of when I start drawing something and I get lost in it and looking at the clock and 2 hours have passed by. That is one of the best feelings that you can get from this, because you're just so locked in. The way I lock in is if I am down here drawing, I just put the music on, the computer behind me, and, you know, blare it out in here, and I'll be gone. I'm just lost in it, completely lost in it. And you definitely got to give your mind something to do, but also, you know, lose yourself in something properly, which is rewarding at the same time, like drawing. Blue Bear says, I actually use drawing / painting in my mind to sleep because it gets my mind off of true crime, which is my other obsession. Yeah, Mrs. Create is absolutely locked in on this sort of stuff, true crime stuff. I think, guys, if you don't see me for like a good period of time and I don't let you know where I've gone, she's got rid of me, because she watches so many of these things. I think she could get rid of me and none of you would know. None of you would know. You'd never find me. Let's put it that way. Full caveat. She's not a nutcase. She just watches a lot of true crime. True crime. Like, we'll go to watch a film. This happens all the time. We go to watch a film. What type of film do you want to watch? I say, okay. My immediate reaction is, I'm opening up Disney Plus. I'm thinking Moana again. I'm thinking Lion King again. I'm thinking, you know, all the Disney, any Marvel film. I'm like, yo, we're gonna go straight back in. Get the MCU run through again. And she's like, nah, I'm not really feeling that. I go, well, what do you want to watch then? Well, we open up Netflix and I'm like reading out all these films. She's like, no. And I'm like, well, you pick then. And I'll pass her the remote. Everything's you know, someone's dying, someone's getting kidnapped, someone's being, you know, taken here, there. And I'm just like, I just wanna Savannah. You know, I just want Lion King. That's all I want, all the time. But am I the problem? Nah, I can't be a problem. Well, it says at the time drawing or studying. Drawing. Oh, studying an artwork to develop something else. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I suppose they're both pretty engaging to do exactly that. I'm jumping between topics now. I like her. It's a mystery. The problem solving. Yeah, I know. And like I'll go upstairs, and it's like she thinks I've been watching or listening. She's like, "Well, I think he's guilty," and I'm like, "What are you on about?" Well, all the evidence would lead that he'd be guilty, but he's been let free, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And then I got to sit there, and she like whips out this briefcase. It's got all of her notes. No, I'm joking. But like, yeah, she gives me all of the details, and I'm like, Jesus, just let the guy, go to trial. If he's innocent, he's innocent. We'll just watch it. Find out in the end. There's still always a death in a Disney. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's always a death. But like, at least with Moana, you've got beautiful water to look at. You know what I mean? The heart of Tahiti. Do you know what the worst thing in the world is seeing as well? Is seeing, yes, we've watched Jeffrey. I watched Jeffrey Dahmer. So it was good. One thing that kind of annoys me a little bit, right, with like modern day Netflix and social media is I swear to God, they must pay a creator here and there, like some sort of influencer, to be like, can you tweet something about this program? And when you hear people tweeting and they're like, had to turn Jeffrey Dahmer off, this is nuts, and all this sort of stuff, and then that starts to circulate through everybody, and everybody's talking about like, wait, people are saying that like this Jeffrey Dahmer thing's like really dramatic or whatever. And you've already started it though, so we were already watching it and we're seeing all these tweets and stuff, and it's like, what? And people are like apparently throwing up. It's like when you hear people. This is the classic. I can guarantee you've maybe seen this headline. Horror film comes out in cinema. People leaving cinema early, too gory for the big screen, and I'm like, what? And it's like nothing. It's like I feel like films have got soft as anything. Like I don't know. I feel like films were a bit scarier when I was a bit younger. But yeah, like that's a classic headline that you see. So there's always so much social media like around it of like Jeffrey Dahmer, great first episode, great. But okay? There's another topic in a second, but first topic is great, and then you're going through it all, and it's like this ain't that mad. Like it's obviously it's mad what he did. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from the facts, but like it's like it's overhyped in the social media, if that makes sense. It's quite a lot of waffle on there. But one thing that frustrated me with the Jeffrey Dahmer, if you've not seen it, it's Tough Monkeys. You have to mute it for a minute. But like I wish they'd done it in a different order. So rather than how they did it, which was like first episode, maybe second as well, I can't remember off the top of my head, it was like he brings that guy back to his house and he escapes, and he brings the police back, and immediately I knew, oh no, that's it, they're at the bar, aren't they? And then he brings him back and stuff like that. I knew straight away, I'm like, oh no, we're being shown the end of how he got caught, and then every episode after is going to be a recap of how we got to that point. And I don't know, I feel like it may have been better the other way around. If it started with this kid who was a bit nuts, and then it progressively got worse and worse and worse. But then I think maybe they realised the start of the story would have been a bit slow, with the roadkill and stuff like that, that maybe it wouldn't have picked up quite so well. But because we got straight to the point and then it was explained to us, maybe it caught people's attention a little bit more. But for me personally, I would have rather watched it in chronological order from him as a kid, all the way through all of the stuff that he did, and then got to um, when he got caught. Sorry, and then like the trial and stuff like that at the end. So that's what I would have preferred. But yeah, I don't. To know, you kind of know how the story ends before it ends, but without knowing the actual ending, if that makes sense. Which I won't ruin when he went to prison, but you know, all of that stuff afterwards. So there's my little Jeffrey Dahmer rant. Akin is talking about with Julie about a design that we've done, and it's the whale one, the orca one. Yeah, okay, so I'm just looking back up the chat and I can see we're talking again about sort of the film scenario in the cinema where it's like people walking out of cinema throwing up, you know, disappointed and this, that, and sorry, like can't handle it sort of thing. It's just like, yeah, too much. Too much waffle, too much overhype, too much, yeah, exactly that. It's just overhype. The thing is, I get it though, like, they've got to talk about these things like crazy, otherwise no one's going to watch it. It will just be on your homepage, and if you people only really a lot of the day, a lot of the time these days go off of, you know, oh, I watched this, it was nuts, you need to watch it kind of thing, rather than just watching something for what they want to watch and exploring, yeah, the content that's available. Excuse me. So yeah. Yeah, I've not really got anything else to rant about. What was that thing we spoke about earlier? And I said it was Procreate, 2-finger tap in real life. I'm going to chop that up and maybe turn that into a TikTok. Blue Bear says, I don't know if I can watch that one. Might be too gory. I liked the story of what's her name that fooled all the high rollers into giving her money. Oh, what's her name? A something? Oh, God. Anna. That was really good, actually. I really enjoyed that. Because she's the same actress from Ozark, but we stopped watching it. Ozark's like latest series, we just didn't bother watching it. But apparently we should watch it because it wraps up pretty well. So maybe one for the watch list. Has anyone watched the film Source Code with Jack Gyllenhaal? Is it Jack or Jake Gyllenhaal? Can't remember either one. That's one of my favourite films. We watched that again the other day. It's not a new one. It's a relatively old one, but it's a great film. Jake or Jack? Jake Gyllenhaal, surely. Oh, and I saw the trailer as well. If we've got Marvel films, I saw the trailer for Ant-Man and the Quantumania. I think it's starting to, again, Marvel wise, everybody winds. This is another topic to talk about, but Marvel winds me up these days. Who here is a Marvel fan? Just let me know if you've watched the films. I know I've completely stopped drawing, but this was the only design I was going to do. But and I'm happy with when it came out. But we're just chatting at this point. Let me know if you're a Marvel fan in the chat, because you may or may not agree. I'm happy to hear opinions that disagree. But Funky, Julie, yeah. Okay, so there's at least a couple of us. So after Endgame and Spider-Man, that was straight after that, everybody was so focused on that film, Endgame, and would not give anything else the time of day. Nothing compared. And every single time we went into the cinema, there'd be people I could hear, you know, it's gone downhill on it, or like this, that, and the other. I'm like, what the hell are you on about? There's lots of them that don't do too well, and that's fine. You can have a bad film, but like, people can't accept anymore a singular film with a singular bad guy and that's it, and like a single mini story, or like a what do they call when it? I can't remember what the word is, but it's like, or the phrase should I say? It's like an origin story, like how that character. So it's like their first ever film and how they became that character, sort of thing. People can't accept that stuff anymore. Shang-Chi was a great film. Love that film. But all of the ones as well, like no one can accept them for what they are anymore. Um, but we're like, the Marvel universe goes like this all the time. It's like start off, ramp up, ramp up, ramp up, right towards the end, and like seeing the Ant-Man trailer is starting to bring in a lot of things and tie things into each other. One of my friends doesn't like the Doctor Strange film, Multiverse of Madness. Great film. Accept it for what it is. You know, I liked it for what it was. You know, the thing that let it down a little bit was obviously that like Scarlet Witch isn't necessarily a bad character, but she turned bad, so it kind of maybe didn't give its like, whoa, this person's like just got screw loose and like actually a baddie, because you've seen it as a seen them as like a good person, although she's kind of gone bad to good to bad. So yeah, all I'm waiting for is Secret Wars, Marvel Secret Wars, and I can. What's the date? It's the 26th of October, 2022. I can guarantee when Secret Wars comes out, where it's multi-universe fighting against each other, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. He will be Iron Man, and it will be the most hyped, and I'll be on that train. The most hyped cameo in a film again. Like Toby, like more than Tobey Maguire, but like, you know, kind of that same level of like, oh my god, it's Tobey Maguire, like going back into the Spider-Man films. When Tony is there again from another universe, you know, fighting in the Secret Wars, it's gonna go off. I promise you. And Cap, if Cap plays again, like what's his name, Chris Evans, again in another universe, maybe he wasn't the one that went back in time and gave the stones back. Maybe he is, you know, still Cap and still, you know, rocking on. But it's going to be absolutely nuts. I want to be in that cinema. I've seen TikToks and stuff of people in the cinema when they're watching Endgame and when Cap lifts up Mjolnir, and like the reactions in the crowd. I'd happily go watch a film twice if the first time I watch it is just people screaming every time something sick happens. I'm all in for it, and then I'll watch it again in a couple of like weeks later when everybody's like calmed down and I can actually listen to what the hell's going on. But like I had a moment like that when I was watching the Spider-Man film where like all three of them and Toby walks through the portal. I was like, but like it was a quiet viewing, so I was like, it's sick. So yeah, that's the one, and we'll chat about it when it happens, and you'll go, Joel, you were right. You were absolutely right. Right, folks, I am going to wrap it up. I only had the one design that I wanted to do for today. Let me just see if there's anything else. If you were here actually last week, you would have seen the crystal design that we did on the stream last week. That is this weekend's tutorial, so keep an eye out for that on Friday. Belter of a tutorial coming next month on Patreon, the first one. For a couple of you that don't already know, like I've already mentioned, it's long, but I've not actually given you the duration. It's 2 hours long, which you probably may have already guessed from the video regarding the tips of the pen. 2 hours long. I've broken it down into 9 stages though, so it's 9 stages, and with the chapters, like I said, I think seeing a 2-hour tutorial is like, well, I can't be asked to do that. But when you see that it's in 9 steps, you know, you can do 1, then, you know, come back to it, do 2 to 3 and 4, you know, and carry on from there. But with a design, and you would have seen it last week anyway, but like with that particular design, it's, you can't, I kind of have this conversation with Miss Create all the time of like, sometimes people ask me, you know, can we do something a bit more detailed, or this, you know, longer and fine, whatever, but then it doesn't really get that many views. So like to draw something more detailed, more, you know, a fuller design, compared to this, it's completely different. But like, we have to have a balance. We can't create really detailed designs in 20 minutes or half an hour that are normal YouTube videos. Do you know what? Okay, this is actually a good topic as well to talk about. I was really happy to see Flo did a tutorial as well that was an hour and 17 minutes long from the top of my mind. Really, really awesome isometric room design. Looked great. But it's a good thing for the Procreate space, I think, because a lot of the time tutorials are based off of what's going to get the most views, and a tutorial that's 20 minutes long, I know because I was that person, is before I started actually doing like job create and stuff, is I would see that as a tutorial and go, I can squeeze that in, I can get a good 20 minutes in and create that. That'd be cool if I can achieve that in 20 minutes. Great. There was also the or if you had an hour, you'd see 3 20-minute tutorials and go, oh, I can complete all 3 of those in an hour, rather than do a longer tutorial that's just an hour on its own, if that makes sense. So I think it's a good thing for the Procreate space that a few of us make longer tutorials and normalize it a little bit more, because I think the only time you really get a longer one is Patreon, which obviously mine are on, but also maybe like a Skillshare is closer to that, because it's Skillshare's based around sort of chapters and parts a lot more, like parts more so I think it's a good thing. I like to push the boat out once a month at least on a design that I like is creative wise a little bit sort of out there a little bit more. Like that's where the landscapes and stuff tend to come in a lot of the time. They take a little bit longer to do, but yeah, I think it's good. It's a good balance, and hopefully people don't get put off. I was actually a little bit worried about putting the tutorial out there on Patreon so early and like the sneak peek of it, because it makes me worried that people are gonna go, oh, God, if he's just gonna be putting out 2-hour long tutorials next month, I ain't got time for that, and just cancel. That's why I kind of put like that message in there. I was like, we have a balance. I'm going to push the boat out on this one, but we'll bring it back in with sort of normal tutorials that we would expect. So yeah, there's a good balance of content, and I'll be more open to doing the longer tutorials for sure. And when we do the winter version of that cabin in the woods design, and we adjust it for the seasons, it's not going to take so long. So you need to do that 2 hours once, and then we can go back in and paint on top of it and adjust certain colors and layers for different seasons. So we've got like a really good canvas once that's done to then build and do the rest. And it also worries me that because it's 2 hours long, that people watching it are not doing it in real time exactly to the minute and to the second. So if they are doing it and rewinding it to like redo a step until they're happy with it, that could easily build up to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, if you spend twice as long, which isn't that hard to do. If you think every second costs you 2 seconds to do that action, then you could easily lose 4 hours. Does that make sense? So I hope people don't get deterred, but I see like Kevin there talking about it, about has no problem with doing a 2 hour long tutorial. Milo says longer teas are the way to learn new skills and ways to approach the artwork. Absolutely. So yeah, it's just a topic of conversation I think it's worth having a discussion about, and I'll vary up the content like I always do anyway. So it's just nice to experiment. Also, truth be told, there's a part of me where it's like I'd happily do 20-minute tutorials all the time. 20 minutes to 40 pretty much is that window of like optimum for YouTube and stuff. But to do a tutorial and be able to sort of test myself a little bit more, I'll happily draw these all the time, but they're not pushing my limit and my skills personally. Like on my personal level, it's nice to be able to sort of test myself, flex my skills kind of thing, or push my skills, or use my skills in something that's going to achieve a little bit more. Does that make sense? That's definitely something that I quite enjoyed with doing it, you know, being able to, yeah, I can't really think of another phrase that doesn't sound arrogant, and it's not intended in that way, but you know, kind of flex my muscles a little bit with that design. Does that make sense? It's not meant intended to be arrogant in any way. It's just more like a sort of vague topic, a vague sort of phrase to try and use alongside that. Yeah, I'm really lost for another way of putting that without sounding like an idiot or a douche. But yeah. Kevin says, to be honest, I often break up the shorter tutorials anyway, so the longer ones just have more breaks. Yep. And hopefully the chapters will help that as well, because you'll be able to just do a chapter and then have your break and come back to it whenever you want. But then it does say, but to me, this is a hobby, so I don't have any deadlines. That is also true. You know, if you don't come back to it, the tutorial is still going to be there. For sure. Jay says, longer videos are hard. I always have to charge my iPad multiple times before I can finish a long drawing. You just need to sit by your charger. Or get a big old extension lead. That's what you need. Milo says, Joel, as artists, we have to have patience to do and approach art. Exactly. Absolutely. Bella enjoys both short and long tutorials. That's a good thing. Milo then says, for me, I enjoy art and I'm not trying to open a new skills. Sorry, I am trying to open. God, I must be knackered. For me, I enjoy art and I am trying to be open to learn new skills and be a better artist, for sure. Exactly. That's also another thing I guess I need to sort of give credit for a little bit. It's like, although it's a bit longer and it's using different stuff, it's gonna hopefully help a lot of people, which is cool. All right, cool. It's been like a podcast, hasn't it? You guys have just listened to me rant for a good half an hour. This one didn't take very long to do. Okay, I will wrap it up because I've not got any other designs that I want to do or anything in mind at all. Sometimes when the tank is empty, you can't force it. So I'll leave it with just this one because I wanted to get this one done anyway, just so I can visually get an idea for it again, reworking it and adding this sort of cool stuff on the outside. And obviously yourselves as well with the beautiful addition of the bloom tool as well will help me make this a lot easier, which is sick. This will probably go up sort of next week on YouTube, I would imagine. I can get that recorded tomorrow pretty quick and easy, which is sick. Yeah, I've not got anything else to say. Please, if you can, go to the latest YouTube video about making the mistakes with the Apple Pencil, and please go and sort of drop a like. If you can comment, that would be even better. You know, even if you make something up to say, you know, I had this experience too, thank you so much, kind of thing. You know, don't all say that though. You know, change it up. Like, let's not copy each other's homework, kind of thing. But if you could, that would be magic. That video is already flying with views in a short period of time. And I have a funny feeling about it. I got like a good feeling about it. Whether or not it will slow down, I'm not sure. But I think thumbnail, title, very clickbaity. But it's not clickbaity because I feel it's a genuine, real story. If it was clickbaity, it'd be 8 minutes. Someone commented to say clickbait doesn't even appeal to the Apple Pencil. Sorry, I know I'm going on another little rant here. Doesn't even relate to the Apple Pencil. How does it not relate to the Apple Pencil? If you damage your Apple Pencil tip, you will then subsequently damage the Apple Pencil. The tip is part of the pencil. Does this person have a point? No, actually, I'm not even going to ask that question because I don't care for that point because it's not. They're entitled to their own opinion, but it doesn't. Anyway, yeah, they were like clickbaity, doesn't even relate. Like, okay, cool. But anyway, I think it's if it was clickbaity, it would be 8 minutes long and I'd have put ads all the way through that video, and you'd have been sat through to left, right, and centre, and I'd be, having a great Christmas with a bag of cash on my back. Come on. Exactly. And Julie's now, what I mean? That backs me up a little bit. Like, this channel doesn't even relate to Procreate. Truth be told, if someone came to this live stream tonight, I've just put a photograph of a neon design and just started talking about Marvel, Jeffrey Dahmer. What else? I'm double tapping pumpkins to undo stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this got nothing to do with drawing anymore. Nothing. This is just a prop, I don't even use this. There's not even a pencil in there. It's just hollow. And stupid. Jay says though, really enjoyed your podcast. Excuse me. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it as well, and it was a real. Well, we spoke about it last week, so I won't go over on it too much. But it was a real. I was very very grateful and very motivated from it. So again, the grind now from 10,000 to 100,000 is a long journey, a very long journey, and subscribers I'm talking about on YouTube, and to have something like that in between is just really cool that we're able to do something cool like that, and it kind of gives you that feel of achievement in between your personal achievements, which is 10,000 to then 100,000. Because one day, just up here, because that's where I plan on putting it, just above here, and I'll kind of make space in the back for it, like just on that piece of the wall up, hang on, there, kind of thing. We'll have a nice little silver plaque. We will have a nice silver plaque. Anyway, like you said, it does relate to the tip. It's just people love to comment. I always read the comments though, because if at the end of the day someone commenting on the video and saying clickbait doesn't even relate, blah blah blah, you've commented on the video and you're just helping it do even better. And if I comment back and then they comment back again, the video's getting more and more engagement. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't realize every time you're clicking on a video to comment, you're boosting it. It's mad. I just don't understand what people think like this on the internet. You're helping the creator do better, but you arguably want it to go the other way. You want that video to be taken down, set fire to. Mad. Mad. Hang on. Let's just very quickly, because you've all been very patient with me. Let's go back here a second and go to also just very quickly, just a topic of the thumbnail. I had to shoot like lots of photos of me, like in lots of different expressions and stuff, and like this one where I'm like frustrated, other ones where I'm like angry. I had to shoot all these like really thumbnaily photos. It was just really funny to go through and do them all, because I've never had to do a thumbnail like this before, and I thought this is the perfect video to try and do something like this. And kept it really simple. I did have the option on here though of putting this in where it's like money going in the bin, because you're literally chucking money away by buying those absolutely god-awful tips. Whether or not that would help, because I think if people saw money on the thumbnail, people are always like, whoa, I don't know, seeing money on a thumbnail and being like, don't make this Apple mistake, and you're like a bit more like, well, hang on, should I buy this? Should I not buy this? Or what have I done by buying this kind of thing? Maybe it's something that people will click on a little bit more, but I wanted to keep it simple and not do it. Maybe I'll share some of the other photos on Discord so you can see some of the other expressions. But what was I talking about? Let's just quickly show you this. Oh, hang on, this is another thing. I keep saying I'm about to like wrap up and just keep nattering. This is the new sticker for superstar supporters. Hang on, I think my screen's going night shift. There we go. This is the new sticker that superstar supporters on Patreon will have access to shortly. So this will be another one that once you've been a patron for a certain period of time, you can claim this sticker and it'll be sent out. The last one was obviously the neon design. If you've never seen that before, I'll just very quickly show you. Which is this one. But it was like, it's in a circle, but we've got the old logo with sort of a neon design and Cooper. It looks absolutely sick, but yeah, that was the first ever sticker, which is what I was talking about earlier, that because because this logo is now sort of discontinued, this is like a one of one sticker. It's the only sticker I ever made with the logo in of the previous design, which is pretty cool. So congrats to you if you've got one. Where was it? Oh, I showed you the sticker, and then I was going to show you the YouTube. So if you're a fan of this last time on the live stream, I've got an amethyst crystal design that's going to be live on YouTube Friday. So if you're here watching this, you get a nice little sneak peek of this one. But fun tutorial, nice and easy brush to use to do it. And I've already seen some as well from people that have had early access. They look fantastic. You're smashing it, and I think this will do really well. I think this has got I've got a good feeling about this one. It's going to be a good week, I think. Let me catch up. There is no such thing as bad press, Julie. Absolutely. Try not to get let the bad comments get to you. I never let the bad comments get to me, because again, my mentality on so many things in life is there's always a positive in some way. I know that sounds really cliche, but genuinely, like, there are certain topics that you can talk about and you can I can take pros from it rather than cons. You know, we're nearly a year, so okay, we're about to get a bit deep for a second, but we're nearly a year from when my dad passed away, literally like next week or whatever. But like, there are pros in my there's positives to look at from my dad rather than just negatives that he's not here anymore. There's positives that I got to there's positives that I got to, some people don't even have a dad that was around for any period of their life. So to have a dad for as long as I did, a great man, wonderful dad, everything like that is great. So that's like the most extreme example I can give you in my life. There's always positives in everything. I got to know my dad for 29 years. Some people may have even less, which is, awful, and I feel sorry for everybody who gets even less time like that. But there's pros and cons to everything. But to take the pros all the time is a great thing. And going back to that comment, every time somebody comments, they're just doing better for the video. They're just helping me every single time achieve my goal. So comment away, chat as much rubbish as you want, because I don't care, because there's another 26,000 people that do want to be here, and your comment means all to me. So, do you know what I mean? It's just like, there's loads of positives to take from it. And at the end of the day, I don't care. It's going to be part and parcel of this world that I'm in, of creating content. You've got to be able to. I heard someone say this the other day, and it's like, if you're willing to put yourself on the internet in any shape or form, you have to be willing to take the mick out of yourself, or someone else will. And if you take offense to it, you're not made for it, sort of thing. You got to be able to sort of take the punches, because there's lots of positives along with them. Do you know what I mean? Everybody likes the sticker. I need to share my real life. You want to see my pumpkins, Blue Bear? God damn! You want to see my pumpkins? My mind was running for different visual representations of that then. I'll paint my ass cheeks orange. Oh, stop it. Oh, Julie actually does say this sounds a bit naughty. Yeah, don't forget to share your designs in the Discord and with me on Instagram and Facebook. Guys, as well, please try to share your designs in like Facebook groups. That's another way you can really help me. Never share the link to a video though, because if you share a link to it, you can't share a link to a Patreon video. But like share your designs of like my YouTube tutorials in Facebook groups. So YouTube tutorials really only. And you can really help me grow a lot more. Bluebear says, sorry about your dad. I feel like our loved ones are still with us, just in different ways. A different realm, for sure. Exactly. Milo says, oh, raised by your dad. Exactly. Very lucky. Bluebear says, yeah. I want to see pumpkins too. Right, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I've actually really enjoyed today. Just nattering away the whole time. Obviously, we did a little bit of a drawing. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Excuse me. Even though I'm knackered. That's all that playing that stupid game. Really enjoyed it. Please look out for this tutorial when you see it. Again, if you can comment on that other video, it'd be great. Just drop a like as well. That'd be magic. But give it a watch, more importantly. There's loads to be, there's quite a lot of, not quite a lot, but there's, there's a lot of opinion in there from myself and lessons to be learned. So we'll wrap it up, guys. Thank you as always. Listen, I don't say this on purpose just for the sake of saying it. Okay, I really appreciate everybody being here and hanging out with us in, for a little while or throughout the whole of the stream. You guys, you guys provide the fun. I'm just here as a face on the screen. So I appreciate you all hanging out every Wednesday night as well. A lot of you are here religiously from the second it starts to the second it ends. You guys are awesome. I love you all very much. Thank you for all you do for the community and me and hanging out. I'll see you again. Oh wait, what's happening next week? Nothing. Oh, should be here next week. I can't remember why I think something's happening, but I should be here next week. Thank you all for hanging out as always. Keep an eye out for the tutorials, and I'll see you again next week. Peace.